There is a group of Christians who have stopped waiting for the system to get better, not because they are angry, not because they are afraid, because they are paying attention. They have looked at where the world's systems are heading and made a quiet, strategic, entirely rational decision. They are not fighting the system. They are not hiding from it. They are building something better, a parallel society, rooted in the kingdom. And this video is about exactly what they are building and why the smartest thing you can do right now is join them. The question is not whether Babylon will fall. Revelation already answered that. The question is whether you will be ready to build something better in its place. That question separates two kinds of Christians, the ones who are watching what is happening and the ones who are building the alternative. The watchers are not bad people. They are sincere. They are praying. They are waiting for someone to fix what is broken. The builders have made a different decision. They have decided that the world does not need the church to fix Babylon. It needs the church to demonstrate that something better is already here. Not coming. Here. Now. On land they own. In community they built. With food they grow. Governed by a king whose kingdom is not of this world, but is very much in it. Subscribe now. This is Christian Villages. First, let's be precise about what this is and what it is not. A parallel society is not a compound. It is not a doomsday bunker with Bible verses on the wall. It is not people hiding from the world behind a fence, hoping everything blows over. Leaving Babylon does not mean rejecting society, money, or modern life. It means withdrawing your allegiance. You stop letting fear, scarcity, and survival dictate your decisions. You no longer measure success by Babylon's metrics or seek permission from its systems to obey God. A parallel society is a functioning alternative civilization built on kingdom principles, operating according to kingdom authority, governed by covenant rather than contract, sustained by stewardship rather than consumption, organized around a community rather than an isolated nuclear family. It is not a rejection of the world. It is a replacement of the systems that have failed the world. Where Babylon builds systems that exploit, divide, and oppress, the parallel society builds systems that uplift, unite, and empower. Where Babylon says secure yourself, then you can help others. The kingdom says align yourself and help will follow. This is not idealism. This is the early church. A community so structurally different from the surrounding world that it could not be explained without God and could not be stopped. The parallel society is not a retreat. It is an advance. It is the kingdom taking ground not through political power or military force, but through the most subversive act available to a covenant people, living differently, visibly, in a way the watching world cannot ignore. The people building the parallel society are not doing it theoretically. They are building specific, tangible, functional alternatives to the systems that are failing. Babylon's food system is fragile. Long supply chains, corporate agriculture. Smart Christians are growing their own food, not as a hobby, as a covenant commitment. Food forests planted now that will feed grandchildren they have not yet met. A community that knows where every meal comes from because they were there when it came from there. Energy independence, solar systems, spring-fed water, off-grid infrastructure. Not because they are paranoid, because a community that generates its own energy is a community that cannot be controlled through its utility bill. The first village was built with its own solar system, its own spring-fed water source, its own capacity to function regardless of the surrounding grid. That is not extremism. That is wisdom. Babylon's systems exploit through debt and legal structures. Smart Christians are building outside those, not illegally, lawfully. Through stewardship trusts held under religious authority, through covenant economics where resources flow toward need, through kingdom businesses that prioritize purpose over profit and serve both workers and community, and holding all of it together, the covenant community itself, the human infrastructure that no digital platform can replicate. These are not four separate projects. They are one integrated alternative, a society that can feed, shelter, power, govern, and spiritually form its members, without permission, in 1 hour. Systems that took generations to build, gone. And the question that follows is not a theological question. It is a practical one. Where is the food? Where is the water? Who do I trust? Where do I go? The harbor has to be built before the storm. A community that has sovereignty doesn't panic when the systems sputter. They are covered by the covenant they built. They have what the world is looking for, not as a power move, as a calling. You become a lighthouse in the storm. Here is the strategic truth. A parallel society takes years to build. The food forest takes a decade. The covenant relationships take years to prove. The legal structures take time. Every year you wait is a year the harbor is not ready, and the storm does not check your timeline before it arrives. The smartest thing any strategic thinker can do is build the alternative before it is urgently needed. Not from fear, from faithfulness. There is a dimension of the parallel society that goes beyond survival and strategic preparation. It is the most important dimension of all, the witness. A community with its own food and governance is not just self-sufficient. It is a sermon that has no words. It says the kingdom is not a theological proposition. It is a functioning civilization with soil and roots and tables and children who know exactly who they are, with brothers and sisters and marriages that have community around them. The spiritual capitalist says it directly. Your life speaks louder than any sermon. You become a lighthouse, and lighthouses do not argue with the darkness. They simply shine. The world is not looking for a better political party. It is looking for a people whose lives are impossible to explain without God. That is the parallel society. You are not building a bunker. You are building a city on a hill, not hiding, shining, not retreating, advancing, one covenant community at a time. Smart Christians are building a parallel society, not because they gave up on the world, because they love it enough to show it something better, out of faithfulness. They are growing their own food, generating their own energy, building covenant communities under kingdom authority, raising children inside a culture the world will come looking for, and they are doing it now, before it is urgent. The time to build the harbor is before the storm. Christian Villages exists for the families who are ready to answer that question with action. Subscribe now. Visit christianvillages.com today. The build has already begun. Come build it with us. This is not extreme. We were meant to live this way. Subscribe now. christianvillages.com.